Hello people. Today's story comes from Reddit user Julia Sawicki. Do you remember Station 6.16? Does anyone else remember the radio station 6.16? I was cleaning out my childhood room when I found my old radio. I then remembered 6.16. I remembered it. Somewhere in my brain I'd preserved those thoughts, and finding that thing from my childhood opened a floodgate of twisted memories. Growing up, I had a radio in my room. This was the 90s and my family couldn't afford a new one for me, so I got one from a second-hand store, and the new one went to my living room. Most of the stations were static. A few played old rock, some classic. I wasn't a fan of either, but I was happy with my old radio. A week after getting the radio, I found a new station, Station 6.16. It was a talk show radio. The conversations were very adult and strange, but I figured it was okay. Nothing really sexual, and there was no cursing. They always had an older man talking on the radio. He'd talk about weird things like that senile neighbour you had that would sit muttering to himself. I remember some in detail, and some not at all. Most of them were about hell. He started off the talk show with checking off all the things that people do regularly. Wear sleeveless shirts, listen to rock, eat sugar, act ungrateful. I felt uneasy. They were all things that I did. He got close to the microphone, then he began counting off. Hear that? That's the time you have left. Tick, tick, hell burns. A red-hot ember, he whispered into the microphone. I was transfixed. I listened and then found myself acting differently after it. All of them were weird like that, talking about how we're all going to hell. Then there was one specific one that won't leave my memory no matter how hard I try. It started with a woman sobbing. She was crying. I heard her speak into the microphone, asking if anyone was there, if they could help her. I wanted to reach through the speaker and save her, but I just listened. I heard loud stomping. The man's soothing voice had gone harsh and cold. There was static and screaming, and then I heard the sound that made my blood run cold, made me sick to my stomach. The horrible sound of crushed bones, screams of agony, the sound of a knife cutting into flesh. More screams, squirting blood, swearing, someone muttering, and then terrifying silence. Then, most haunting of all, static mixed with groans and laughter. I sat there. I decided to stop listening. I decided this show was for adults or big kids, and it strained away off its normal path of weird, and this was just horrific. Whenever my curiosity got the best of me and I felt the urge to check out that station, I just got static. I've talked to people about this and no one seems to remember it but me. I figured I need closure. Does anyone remember channel 6.16? Does anyone know what happened to it?